Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on Thursday. It is transfer deadline day, of course. I will be talking about that a little bit later on in this video because I'm sure you want to hear about anything that is happening. But first of all, first chunk of this video is going to be about last night's game because I didn't have the chance to talk to you after last night's game. There was so much going on at the Emirates that I just couldn't. I had loads of stuff to do, so I didn't have time to do a video. So if you want to find out about transfers, you have to skip forward a little bit, I'm afraid, because I just want to go over last night's game. As I said, because I didn't get to do anything last night, my ratings video or anything like that. Really weird night in the end. Arsenal, I thought, were absolutely brilliant for the first half. Fantastic. Somehow only 1-0 up because that Gabriel Jesus goal should have been 3, 4, 5-0 up. They played that well. They were that much in top. And even the second half, maybe they fell off a little bit, but they were still well on top. And then the Villa goal came out of absolutely nowhere. And you're like, oh no, they're going to drop points here. This is going to be an absolute killer. But fair play to Arsenal once again, as they have done all season. Whenever they've conceded, just straight out the pitch and score. It was only within 2 minutes Maitland-Niles got that goal. The noise at the Emirates was brilliant when that goal went in. Actually, to be fair, the noise when Villa equalised and everyone was walking back to the centre circle and Arsenal waiting to restart again was just brilliant as well. Everyone on their feet cheering the team on, trying to get them back up, and it obviously made a big difference because Arsenal went straight down the pitch and scored. And really important win for Arsenal. 5 wins in a row, back to the top of the Premier League. Only the 4th time in their history that they've won their first 5 league games. Never finished lower than second in the previous 3 times they've done that. They've only once gone on and made it 6 league wins in a row, and that's what they'll be trying to do for the second time this weekend when they go to Manchester United. So a really good night again, exciting, lovely atmosphere, great place to watch football at the moment at the Emirates. I'm loving going to the home games, and the away games, but the home games, the atmosphere is just off the charts, really, really good. And like I said, I thought for the first half yesterday, Arsenal was superb. Just how on earth that was only 1-0. I'll never know. Saka, and I'm not even going to go at Saka's for his performance because I actually thought that was Saka's best performance so far this season by a mile. I thought it was really, really good and caused Villa all sorts of problems, but he just needs a goal. I don't know how he didn't score yesterday. The open goal at the back post, which he put over, not the easiest of finishes, but he should have scored. And then the other one, when he kind of fell over as he had a tap in, all he had to do was stay on his feet and he had a tap in. He just needs something to happen for him in front of goal. What I did like was how he kept his head, and then it was a brilliant pick out for Martinelli for the goal, for the winning goal. Really good assist from Saka, and that's 2 in 2 in the home games now because he got the assist for Odegaard as well against Fulham. So that was a positive, and hopefully the goals are going to come for Saka. They are going to come, there's no doubt about it. And I thought on the whole it was definitely his best performance of the season, so that was a positive. I thought I thought Sambi Lokonga played really well, which was good because there was lots of eyes on him. Obviously, with no Partey, no El Neni, everyone was looking at how Sambi was going to get on. I thought he did really, really well. Good performance from him, given the circumstances, given the pressure he was under. So that's a positive, and it'll be interesting to see exactly what Mikel does in terms of the lineup against Manchester United on Sunday. And Gabby Martinelli, absolute live wire again. Odegaard, I thought was great. Granit Xhaka, brilliant as he has been all season. And just another good performance from Arsenal, another positive one. My brother went yesterday with my dad, and my brother's a Liverpool fan, and he went. He's not older brother, and he went. He hadn't been for a while. He goes with my dad every so often. If my dad can't go with one of his usual people who sits using my seat, next to him, and he messaged me today, my brother, and he was just like, "Well, that's Arsenal just looks so different to the last time I saw them. How good they were, how good Jesus was." And he said the atmosphere was miles better. He asked about the group, the Ashburton Army behind the goal in the clock end. And he just said the whole experience was just completely different to the last time he went in terms of the atmosphere and the team. And I think that's a positive when you got someone who hasn't been for a while who says that when they go to the matches. And it's real positive, I thought. And just another win, and it just maintains the momentum. And I spoke to Granit Xhaka after the game, waited downstairs, the glamorous life of a football reporter. He was in doping. He was one of the players who got taken away for the doping testing randomly after the game. And as is always the way, they're so dehydrated after the game they really struggle to go to the toilet and provide a sample. And we're waiting down there, me and about 4 other reporters waiting down there literally for like an hour and a half for Granit Xhaka to go to the toilet before he could speak to us. Very glamorous. But he eventually did. He came out, eventually did speak to us. He was really, really good. And he spoke about a lot of things, the mentality shift and what's behind it and things like that. He also had a go at the celebration police. I asked him about it, and he had a go saying, look, we'll celebrate against who we want to celebrate. And he said, look, if you're saying that it's only Fulham, then you're disrespecting Fulham, which I think he's absolutely spot on. He spoke really well, and he's having such a good season, Xhaka. He's just loving life in that more advanced role. And I thought it was great yesterday, and just the whole game was great, and the whole night was great, atmosphere was great, and just an enjoyable experience. Let me know what you guys think. As always, with that performance, with the result, with the night, if you're at the ground, in the comments below. Okay, so quickly before we get on to transfer business, this is what Mikel had to say about injuries. Odegaard got a bit of a whack in the game. He walked off. He walked through the mix zone after the game, which is where we stand waiting to speak to some of the players. He walked through. He had ice on his, I think it was his knee, I can't remember what it was, but he said he got a bad kick and he was struggling. It was very recent, so we'll have to see over the next few hours how he recovers. That's what Mikel Arteta had to say on Odegaard. El Neni said that's not good news. We need to see a specialist. I'm afraid we're going to lose Mo for a while. It also said the party could be out for a while, though. Speaking to other people around the place in the last couple of days, people close to party, people at the club, they don't believe it's that serious a party. They're saying weeks rather than months or anything. So fingers crossed. Tom, he won't be out for too long. It's not too bad an injury. But then he was obviously asked, do these injuries impact your transfer plans ahead of the deadline? And he said, obviously it has an impact because Thomas is injured and we are short in that position. We have Sambi and Granit can play there, but we are looking at options in the market. The club has been super supportive to keep improving the squad and the team as we can. And if the right player is available and we can do it, we will try. And that really takes us on to transfer dealings here on deadline day. So the big news as it stands, and I'm recording this at lunchtime on Thursday, is that Arsenal are pushing to try and sign, or exploring is probably the right details. I don't think it's got to the stage of an actual, the club's really locked in negotiations for Douglas Luiz, but they are trying, and it's down to Aston Villa basically in terms of how strong their resolve is to keep Villa. Villa have been pretty adamant today, sources around Aston Villa saying that they are not going to sell Douglas Luiz, but that is going to be tested now by Arsenal in terms of their resolve. It's just a case of how strongly are they willing to hold on to him, because he's only got a year left in his contract. Or under a year left on his contract. He hasn't signed a new extension. He's resisted calls to sign a new contract from Aston Villa, and now Arsenal are going to be putting some money up trying to get him out of Villa before tonight's 11 p.m. deadline. So it's just a case of how strong Villa are willing to go in terms of keeping Douglas Luiz. He's 24, Brazilian, knows Arteta well, obviously from their time at Manchester City. I really like him, and I haven't seen that much of him, I have to admit, because I don't watch Villa religiously. I just remember the game a couple of seasons back behind closed doors at Villa Park that Villa won 1-0 against Arsenal late on in the season. It's the night that someone was flying a banner across the stadium at Villa Park saying back Arteta and Kroenke out, or something like that. I was having a go at the Kroenkes. And it was that night, and I just remember it was just one of those occasions when a player really catches your eye and you think, oh, he's good. And it was Douglas Luiz. I thought he played really well, and I've always liked him after that, but I've not seen too much of him. So, but he's a good player, there's no doubt about it. He fits the profile that Arsenal are after in terms of his age, only 24. Like I said, Arteta knows him well, and you would think he's not going to be the cheapest. He's not going to be the most expensive. I think it's still going to take some money to get him out of Aston Villa. Sort of. I don't know, probably I think they're looking for around the sort of £25 million mark. I've seen Sammy Motbell at the Mail has said that Arsenal offer is 20 million. So it depends to be seen whether that's something that Aston Villa accept. But certainly the word coming out of Villa today was very clear that they were not going to sell him to anyone today. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how these negotiations go over the next 10 or so hours. But you'd think, for me personally, look at it from a Villa point of view and you think you're pretty mad not to accept it, aren't you? And they've just had a bid accepted from Wolves as well for Dendoncker. And so you kind of think, well, is this just posturing from Aston Villa's sake? Because you'd be mad not to accept it. You've got a player who's going to leave on a free transfer. He's not going to sign a new contract. He hasn't signed it despite you offering it to him. And you can lose him on a free at the end of the season. You've just signed, or you're trying to sign a replacement or a player who plays in his position. So surely it just, yeah, there's posturing going on. As always, it's a game of chess when it comes to the transfer window. Who's going to blink first? And Arsenal are going to hopefully try and make sure that it's Aston Villa that blink first. And if they do, then I expect them to sign Douglas Luiz by the end of today. But it's a long way to go until we get to that stage right now. So, like I said, recording this at lunchtime on deadline day, and by the time you watched it, I'm sure this is going to move on because it's going to start happening pretty quickly because time is running out. And Arsenal, if they're going to get it done, they're going to have to get it done quickly. So, keep an eye out on my social media for all the sort of latest updates as the day progresses. But that's what Arsenal are trying to do when it comes to their midfield issue. Player they are definitely trying to sign is Douglas Luiz from Aston Villa. Let me know what you guys think of that one in the comments below. Other than that, it's going to be a day of outgoings at Arsenal, potential outgoings. Ainsley, Maitland-Niles, I expect he will join Southampton at some point today on loan. Arsenal are going to take up the option they have on Maitland-Niles, which is for an extra year, to get him to extend his contract by an extra year. That's going to then take him to 2024. So he'll spend the season on loan at Southampton, and then they've got an option to buy. They will have an option to make that into a permanent move next summer. That should go through by the end of today. Last time I spoke to someone about that, there was still a few things to be done, but the expectation was that was going to happen. A little bit more unclear on Hector Bellerin. Prior to recording this video, the latest I'd heard was that he was really close to Barcelona, that Betis were out of the running, and that he was really close to Barcelona. But again, there's still work to be done on that, and there's still discussions ongoing between Arsenal and Barca and Bellerin's people in terms of exactly how that deal could be structured. Will it be an agreement between the clubs? Will it be a contract termination and then him signing for Barcelona as a free transfer, basically similar to what happened with Aubameyang? So there's still things to happen when it comes to Bellerin, but again, that is one I'm told is very close, and all parties are sort of pushing to come to an agreement before tonight's 11 p.m. deadline. Bellerin was there yesterday, walked past us again in the mixed zone after the game, so he's not in Spain, or he wasn't in Spain. He was at the game last night. So we'll see and keep an eye on exactly how that one goes. Other than that, I think there'll be maybe a couple of youngsters moving on. People could go out on loan. I think James Olayinka's one of them. Players like that could leave the club on a permanent basis as well. So keep an eye out for any sort of youngsters moving on. But that's the sort of how the lay of the land as we stand at the moment at lunchtime on transfer deadline. In terms of incomings, all focus on Douglas Luiz at the moment. I know there's been links with Danilo over at Palmeiras and things like that, but from all accounts that would be a very hard deal to get done but this window anyway, because Palmeiras just don't want to sell at the moment because of the position they're in and because of the games and competitions that they've got coming up. Maybe January, maybe next summer, that's something that can be revisited, but as it stands, I think that would be a very hard one for Arsenal to do this summer because of Palmeiras' position. So the focus is very much on Douglas Luiz at Aston Villa. Alright, that's about it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said, keep your eyes peeled on goal.com throughout the day for all your break-in transfer news. We've got the live blog running throughout, won't miss a trick. And then also head over to my social media accounts for any other Arsenal updates as they happen. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you soon.